Okay, good morning, everybody. Glad to see you this morning. Um, so I want to start with, we have at least a couple of people who are new to us this morning and would like for them to introduce themselves, and a few people we haven't seen in a while. So Greg, if I can start with you, if you would introduce yourself briefly, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Greg Wyman. I'm actually currently the superintendent of the Jail Combs Unified School District, which is on the suburbs of the eastern part of East Valley in Pinal County. But I'll be retiring in June after 40 years, and we'll be picking up between the next 7 months the executive director of the Arizona Rural Schools Association. That's really my role here, is to just listen and learn and see how we can go ahead and take care of some rural school issues relative to bandwidth and other technology issues.
Great, thank you, Greg, and glad Greg and I connected. It's been a while since we had communication with the Rural Schools Association, and we had some interesting discussion about some of the challenges and issues of rural schools. Many of you are aware of many of those issues, but anyway, Greg, we're glad to have you, and look forward in the future to having a more lengthy discussion about how we can collaborate with you. And let's see who else we got on the call this morning. So, Brad, I know you've been here before, but could you introduce yourself? I have a good memory, just a little short.
Um, yes, of course. My name is Brad Borman. I'm an attorney with the City of Tucson and the City Attorney's Office. My role here is working on the city's fiber to the premises um, initiative, and similarly, my I guess what I hope to do here is more learning than anything. I don't know how much you guys are interested in our FTDP, but I'm certainly interested in learning more about the telecom issues that everybody is facing throughout the state. So
Well, Brad, we're looking at probably sometime. I've been in touch with the folks at the city and looking forward to a presentation in
okay,
the next few weeks about the fiber to the premise project that you have going on.
it should be quite stimulating.
Well, it sounds pretty exciting from what I know.
Well, it's
So,
it's certainly ambitious. I mean, that's my position, but
yeah,
there's also let's just say dealing with the parties is always a challenge.
yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to hear about that. And of course, you guys are still, I think, recovering from I guess the best word is fiasco that happened a number of years ago. And so, but anyway, I think it's great to have you on board and look forward to a presentation from the city, probably after the first of the year.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
great. We have anybody else who's new this morning? I take that to be a no. So I'd like to do something a little different this morning for just a minute. I know many of you have been on our call before, but I want to share this video that Paul Ross with the University of Phoenix has done. Not University of Phoenix, but anyway, this is a great video, and I think it's a timely opportunity, and I hope it will work okay if you'll just bear with me.
Where the city grows, from city streets to mountain roads. Dream networks far and wide, connecting dreams on every side. From Flagstaff's peaks to Tucson's heat, with bridging gaps to every beat, every voice and every town. Will lift the signal up, never down. Building connect. He got the power to light the path. The devil got making sure no signal dies. Collaboration's what we do. With everyone here, dreams come true. Schools and homes, they'll stream with ease. Farms tracking weather on the breeze. This is how it's teaching skill to close the gap so every hand can hold the map. To take me on digital knowledge. Yes, we're all tonight with every clip feels to get down, to lead the way. End of meeting, here this time. Laughter, welcome back, it's so talk about roots and how we
Okay. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Again, many of you have already seen this video, but I think it was fun. Mama, I got it. I saw your note that it was breaking up. Is that the video, or are we breaking up generally?
No, the audio part of it.
Just the video. The video,
No,
though.
the audio.
Yeah.
And the audio and video don't sync, because of that.
Okay.
It's too much bandwidth, Steve. I didn't hear any of it, to tell you the truth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry to hear that. We'll play that some other time.
Right.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to start. Mark and Randy, if I can put you guys on the spot. It doesn't look like we have anybody from the broadband office this morning. You guys want to give us a quickie update on what's happening with BEAD and and so forth. So, Mark, you want to start, please?
Sure. On the spot here.
you want to, I turned on my video, but whatever. Um, NTIA has approved, I believe, some 20 some odd state plans and sent them to NIST, which is the next step in the process. But NIST should be a fairly perfunctory step. So
Mark,
Arizona,
excuse me, you want to tell people who NIST is?
sure, National Institute of Science and Technology. They're also under the Department of Commerce, as is the NTIA, the National Telecom and Information Agency. And forgetting my protocol, I'm Mark Goldstein, International Research Center and chair of Arizona Telecom and Information Council. So Arizona's plan was approved in some form without someone from the broadband office. There's not direct information like a copy of the plan online, but I believe the numbers were that Arizona provisionally awarded $512 million, and the approved plan is for $456 million, so about 56 million less than the final Arizona ask. I assume that's because one or maybe a couple of the high cost per broadband serviceable location provisionally awarded grants did not make it through NTIA muster. But we will need to hear from the broadband office on what that specifically means, because the final public plan is not published and available to us to learn that from.
Mark,
Yeah,
I can probably add quite a bit of information on what you're talking about that
sure.
with us in the last 2 or 3 days. So in what it seems like
Rory,
is,
you want to introduce yourself, please?
my apologies, I'm with Wi-Fiber and TriNet Solutions. I'm CTO of Wi-Fiber, which is where the bead stuff comes in. So we discovered multiple things, and we've actually had to back out of one state. We're probably going to back out of 2 states. The consultants that we hired, not you, Mark, you did a great job, but the other guys severely underestimated the amount of money or the bidding amounts. They didn't read the federal rules. Federal rules threw a couple of curves in there. One of them is that when you're doing construction, you have to hire local police departments for security on the streets. In Virginia, that cost alone was $7 to $12 million, which caused the first problem. Then we found out that we had to pay 30% over prevailing wage to meet federal guidelines. Bottom line is we grossly underestimated it by literally almost $65 million. So the cost of that. And other states, the smaller ISPs that bid on these projects didn't realize they're not getting paid until the project is actually deployed. So they literally, if they bid $50 million, they had to it was literally going to cost them $100 million until they can get the $50 million paid back. Because it's a matching fund. It's not 100%, I'm sorry, I'm not saying that correctly. So we bid 75% in an area, which means if the project costs $100 million, we're spending $25 million to deploy that. And we're not getting any of that money back until the very end of the project. Well, not a lot of people have those kind of resources. And I will tell you that bankers, the investment bankers that were behind many of the companies have actually started walking away. So it's going to be a bigger, I'm going to call it a crap show, but that's really what it is. There's a lot of the vendors already backing out. We probably won't have numbers on that for months, but it's not going to be anywhere near what the investment level was $26 billion, which was the final number the NTIA was estimating. Sorry, Mark. Thanks.
No,
man.
thank you, Rory. Just a little pushback on one element of that is that
Sure.
I believe there are 2 different reimbursement paths one can take. And if you agree to certain conditions, you can get paid back for your deployment fund investments on, a net 60, net 90, whatever a government cycle is. There are two pathways. One does, in fact, require completion of the network before reimbursement, but there is a second pathway with certain conditions that does allow interim funding of costs spent, return of those costs spent, I believe. Go ahead if you have
Yeah,
any
so
thoughts.
no, it's okay. So the one other, I don't have the information on that second path. I know our guys looked at it. I don't know what they decided other than we're clearly not going to do one of the states we won several things.
Okay.
Where they ran into where we ran into the second problem was this: you bid an area that you assume is contiguous. And what the state did is they chopped it up into smaller sections. So we have one area here, another company has an area here, and then you go further on and it's us again. And that drove the cost way higher than our estimate. And we're having to file to ask them if we can trade locations with the other companies. And I'm sure that we're not unique in that scenario because that's one state out of 48. Because if they don't, we're not going to do. We can't. The numbers don't make sense. So there wasn't. I don't. Again, I don't know if other states have similar issues, but it's making it extremely more complicated than it should have been, and way more costly than what we bid. So.
Thanks, Rory.
Steve, just a little more. There was some breaking news this week from a public talk at a conference before, I can't remember which organization, that Ariel Roth gave this week, and she was asked in Q&A about the non-deployment funds.
Mark, you
And
might want to tell people who Ariel Roth is.
Ariel Roth is the director of, or whatever her title is, over the program, over the entire BEAD program at NTIA. So she is under Harold Ludnick, the Secretary of Commerce, and in charge of this program, the BEAD program. So she was asked point blank about the non-deployment funding, which in Arizona comprises more than $500 million of our $993 million. A few million is being spent at commerce and administrative, and 456 was just approved for infrastructure. So there's
Mark,
500.
Mark, that figure is 447 according to what they said.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I had a document yesterday that I was looking at, but maybe that my memory isn't correct on that. I'm opening that, and I will put actually it in 446 and change. You're right. Is the number 446, 123.59. I see on a bead overview cut sheet from NTIA that I downloaded from their site. Um, Anyway, Ariel Roth's response was that final rules on the non-deployment funding will not be out till early next year, but she expects the monies will stay with the states and territories. And that's big news. That's more money in non-deployment funding than in deployment funding. What guardrails or rules will be put in place um, regarding the use of that money? There's background chatter that some of it may have to be, or all of it, somehow AI oriented in workforce training or other infrastructure and things. I'm not sure that that doesn't go beyond congressional legislation's original intent. So more to come on that. And Randy, with all that said, let's see what you have to add. And then Steve, perhaps tomorrow, Resound is an awardee in Arizona. She's on, she may have some comments.
Okay. Go ahead, Randy.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So, all really great, news updates here. So what, two,
Randy?
oh, I'm
Randy,
sorry.
Gotta introduce yourself.
Okay. Randy Leaning, broadbandtoolkit.com. And we do, broadband analytics, basically provide geospatial tools. Um, so two things that are kind of very consequential nationally. One is California finished its put its numbers together and released them last night, and that's important because they were the 50th state to do it, so you couldn't really do any kind of uh, national analysis, because they're about 10% of the national population, and so that's out, and they have uh, um, kind of service areas, and they've got all the standardized file formats. And the numbers came out about, and I'm just doing this from memory, but about 65% fiber, 20% satellite, 10% fixed wireless, and with a little bit of change left over. So that's one event. The other is the FCC periodically releases every 6 months its broadband data collection results for just and so just in the last few days data has come out for networks as of June 30th 2025, and usually the first release sometimes has a few glitches, and then they do updates every couple weeks, but this first one is out, so that's a new wave of data for people to start diving through.
And I think that just leaves two territories of the 56 applicants whose applications remain pending.
Yeah. And I think what else is interesting, I think Mark, you sort of mentioned this too, is just that there's a process that we've all seen where a state releases data for review, and then they have their final proposal, and then it's accepted, and then you've got the NIST approval. And so right now the NTIA's website, even for states that have been theoretically checked all those boxes, it's not sort of showing all the data. So there's a bit of a waiting dynamic to actually get access to the data. So what most people are using is some variant of the data, but not necessarily the final data set for many states.
Right. I mean, quite interesting. What hit the cutting room floor from Arizona's 512 million getting down to the 446 could be, as Rory indicates, vendors dropping out, or it could be rejection of high cost per VSL proposals by NTIA. Tamara, do you have anything to add, as your company is a BEAD recipient in several states, I believe?
Right. Yeah, sure. I don't have too much to add at this time.
Excuse me, Tamara,
Right.
could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, you do that every time, Steve, and I always think I have to remember to do that when I start talking. And then, of course, you just start talking. My name is Tamara Rosenberg. I am Director of External Affairs for Resound Networks, and we are primarily a fixed wireless company, although we do have a number of fiber projects, and those have increased in the last 2 years. So we have very little BEAD that we've currently been awarded in Arizona. It's mainly in the Yuma market. We have, I think, 2 awards in Yuma. We As of this moment, we're still waiting on some of our states to be for final approval. But as we were talking, I was just going back to double check my notes. We did win BEAD in all 8 of the states that we applied for. They're just still, some of them are still in process, so we don't know if that's officially we've won or if it's just provisional and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, but yeah, at this time I don't really have too much to say unless someone has a specific question.
Okay, any questions before we move on to other topics? Going once, going twice. Okie doke. So, Megan, I'm going to put you on the spot. Anything with the state library, and then Mala will head over to you in just a moment.
Sure. Thanks, Steve. I'm Megan Hammond. I'm the Library Development Administrator at the Arizona State Library Archives and Public Records. Our department oversees the grant funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services. It's the federal funding for libraries in the state. We don't have a lot to announce except that there was a lawsuit that the state of Arizona has been involved with, and the permanent injunction was granted last week. So that appears to continue our funding through the year, which is good news. Of course, we're also waiting to see on the federal budget whether it gets extended beyond the end of January. So it's still a very uncertain time, but we have reasons to be optimistic. And I'll let Mala fill you in on anything else.
So before we move
Mhm.
on, Megan, do you want to just explain to people what that funding provides
Sure.
to the libraries in the state, please?
Yep, we get about $3.8 million from the federal government to apply towards statewide library efforts, as well as we also operate a sub-grant program for libraries. So this year we awarded $918,000, I think, to different libraries across the state for different projects, many of which do include digital inclusion. We used some of the funding this year to start a North Star Digital Literacy Network among the libraries. And so that's a project we're rolling out right now to provide digital literacy training in libraries for the public. We provide statewide databases, which are the Gale, EBSCO, a number of different research and education support databases through our website that the public can access. And then we also support the libraries in providing access to their patrons as well. Yeah, that's just some of the ways we use it, but we also have the state archives and the research library collection. So we have the history of the state is also part of our mission, is maintaining and preserving that.
Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. Mala, before we get to you, Anthony, I think I saw you on the call here. You want to give us any updates with what you're doing these days?
Hey, Steve. I don't have too much to add. I think I'm working on the same projects as Megan. So we're just focused on getting North Star Digital Literacy, that digital skills platform, out to as many libraries as possible right now. That's our kind of main concern.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. So Mala, let's jump in with you. Anything happening that with the feds these days that you want to share?
I remember the protocol. I'm Mala Muralidharan, the state E-rate coordinator for public libraries.
You got a gold star, Mala.
Finally, at the end of the year, I remembered. I know Megan spoke about the LST and how much, as she was saying it, I was thinking how much we are stretching those dollars to reach all our public libraries and for the services that we offer. It's so very important. And we thank you all for the support and in ensuring and shouting at the rooftops for us to continue getting these funds, which are constantly under threat. Anything that is an appropriation is always under threat, which takes me to the issues that are front and center for E-rate. ALA, with American Library Association, Shelby, the Schools Health Libraries Broadband, and several other organizations are continuing to fight to defend the Universal Service Funds in the courts. The Fifth Circuit and 11th Circuit courts had contradicting opinions about whether USF itself is legal, whether it is a tax, or whether the contributions that are collected from the service providers are collected without can they be reformed so the contributions are less taxing on a few organizations and spread out much more because of the need for E-rate funding and the need for cybersecurity, the need for modernization and streamlining of the E-rate process. which is no doubt, no doubt at all about the need for it. Every year, um, there are surveys done which where almost 99% of the schools and libraries talk about how important the E-rate funding is and how important it's the funding from USF is. So again, we stand, although we know that we can't do any advocacy one way or the other, we stand ready to defend it with data and stories, and that is something so important for us to continue gather stories on the importance of funding anchor institutions, schools and libraries with the E-rate dollars. E-rate reimburses not just the internet, but also internal connections um, within the libraries and within the schools. So the importance of it, defending the program is really front and center of everything that we are doing now. And um, adding to that is the adoption and making it more affordable is a part of our continuing strategy to 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 use these E-rate dollars effectively. The one other thing, I think I saw Melanie on the call, and she may be able to add a little more about to this. But yesterday there was a telehealth um, webinar that the Southwest Telehealth Resource Center conducted. It was really mind blowing. There were three doctors, Dr. Simile, Dr. Roca, and Dr. Finkelstein, the new director of Southwest Telehealth Resource Center, who talked about they explored actually the future of telerehab. Telerehab is something that I've been discussing with Dr. Finkelstein quite a bit on how we can promote that through our libraries. They talked about virtual rehabilitation programs that they are transforming the recovery of patients who are unable to go for post-op care and continued care in for cancer patients, for COPD patients, and several others, especially the seniors and the aging population. They talked about the research on clinical outcomes and continuing patient engagement, beyond the doctor visits, uh, trying to do it at home using artificial intelligence to personalize treatment, to track progress, and to enhance personalized delivery of care. Um, of course, AI is only as good as the data that it has gathered and the analytics of those data. But the more people that participate in these rehab programs at home, the better that AI will be able to guide them on, if they are exercising, when to stop, are you breathless, is your heart rate going higher than it should, and personalizing those kind of care and treatment. Um, they identified several rehab models that would work, and also they're gathering data on the clinical impact of continued tele rehab on the home front, or an anchor institution front. So, Melanie, would you like to add something more about the program? It was so good. I really enjoyed it.
That was a great segue, Mala, that I was just about to call on Melanie. So we'll put you on the
Thank
spot,
you.
Melanie.
Hi, I'm Melanie Escher at the Arizona Telemedicine Program, the Southwest Telehealth Resource Center here at the University of Arizona. And actually, we are in the process of kind of putting ourselves under an umbrella. And let me just quickly pull this up here. We're actually considered a center under the College of Medicine. So we're going to be the Arizona Center for Telemedicine AI-powered precision digital health. We also have T Health, which is up in Phoenix, which is a transformational health, where there's some other research that will be going on under that. We've had that for a while. It's up in the old historic gymnasium, the Phoenix School Gymnasium, the big auditorium up there. We've got some facilities up in the upstairs area. Anyways, so yeah, the webinar yesterday was telerehabilitation with Dr. Smiley, Dr. Finkelstein, and Patricia Rocco, who does, she's a physical therapist, and is part of that research project. And Mala really summed it up very nicely. There's not much I can add. And we had quite a few questions that came in, which were pretty detailed, high-level questions that were being asked about it. But yeah, there's a lot of research going on in the AI field, and we are hoping to be some leaders on that as well here for the state of Arizona.
So, Melanie, did you say that the Arizona telemedicine program is changing the name to the new name? Is that what you're saying, or?
No, we're still the Arizona Telemedicine Program.
Oh,
But we've got other parts to us. We're not just the Arizona Telemedicine Program. We're also the Southwest Telehealth Resource Center, which is our federal side, federal grant side.
okay.
And we also have the T Health Center, which is up in Phoenix.
Okay, so this is a new center under the two.
We're actually not a new center, believe it or not. We've been considered a center under the College of Medicine. We've just never used that term.
No, I meant that you called it Arizona Center for Telehealth, and what was it called?
The Arizona Center for Telemedicine and AI-powered precision digital health.
An AI-powered precision digital health. Okay, so that center is under the ATP?
No, it's under the College of Medicine.
Oh, okay, under the College of Medicine. So that's
So we've always been considered a center. Arizona Telemedicine Program doesn't have the word center in its name, but we're the Arizona Telemedicine Program, which is funded by the state legislature.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of different names, but it's the Arizona being able to use a center when our name, because we are considered a center in the College of Medicine, Arizona Center for Telemedicine, AI-powered precision digital health, is more reflective of what we're doing and as we're growing.
So the ATP is under that center? I'm confused about which is.
Arizona Telemedicine Program has been in existence since Dr. Weinstein was here, and that is a line item on the state budget. We're still the Arizona Telemedicine Program. We're not changing that. We've got a legacy logo as well. We are considered a center under the College of Medicine.
Oh, okay.
We've never used the word center. We're considered a center. So we also have the T Health Institute, which is up in our Phoenix area. And that's where we've done a lot of we had when we were doing in-person events before COVID, that's where people would meet up at the T Health Institute. When we were doing our trainings, we'd have a group down in Tucson and a group up in Phoenix. And we still have those facilities up in Phoenix.
Okay, let's move on. Excuse me. So Matt, I'm going to put you on the spot for just a second. Obviously, you're not going to do a big presentation today, but you just want to tell people quickly who you are and the conversation we're having about you guys doing a presentation probably after the first of the year, possibly next week or two, or after the first of the year.
Yeah, hopefully sooner. Fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, I'm Matt Coombs. I'm with Ackerman Consulting Group. We're an engineering consulting firm over here in Scottsdale. And we came and talked maybe earlier in the summer, I would say, and around a USDA award we got in a broadband technical assistance grant for kind of covers a whole range of things. And it's specifically for a few counties and Colorado River Indian tribes across Arizona. So it's not across the whole board, but the gist is really trying to assist with that process of everything up to construction is kind of an easy way to think of it. So it's nothing construction related. It's all about the either feasibility studies, mapping, technical assistance, engineering. We've even got some business planning. So, after everything's in the ground and rolling around, looking at all those things. And so all that to say, part of this program, we work with a USDA representative, and we were hoping to get him to join the call and just kind of talk about upcoming funding opportunities from USDA that are going to come out hopefully soon in the new year, and then as well as just kind of where their heads at, their headspace with just all things related to, digital access, broadband, et cetera. And so, what Steve was alluding to was we were hoping we'd be able to get him on this call or maybe next call, but he didn't want to come without having concrete information, which I understand completely. So, like I was saying, we're hoping it's going to be a sooner rather than later thing. And from his end, he even said that he thought some of these announcements were going to come out maybe before Christmas, but then again, he's very clear that it's a maybe, and that's nothing that he can like commit to. And so he didn't want to come in here without having hard data, or hard information. So, but yes, hopefully that's sooner rather than later. So, because he doesn't really have a clear idea of what some of those funding windows might look like, how much money is going to be there. They are confident that USDA has funding opportunities and all that, so that's good to hear. It's just when the actual announcements come out.
Thanks, Matt. So we'll
Yeah.
obviously be in touch and let you know when they're going to present to us. Are there any other announcements this morning or things that people want to share?
Steve, Mark Goldstein again. I did post in the chat next Thursday night, a week from tonight, at 7 p.m. I will be doing a free presentation for the IEEE Computer Society Phoenix, as I do every fall for perhaps 10 years, rotating different topics. So for the first time, I'll do something called Transforming Urban Landscapes, the Role of AI in Smart Cities and Smart Places. It'll have a lot to do with the Internet of Things and the ubiquitous sensor deployments and wireless uh, trends that allow that data collection and so on, and then the use of AI for driving analysis and solutions in urban environments and other smart places, smart buildings, smart homes, and so on. So it is free to register. The link's in the chat. And if you're not an IEEE member, which most people aren't, you simply register there as a guest. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Paul?
Oh, well, g'day everybody. Yeah, so my ask is very simple. I need to interview 6 people to review the model that I've created around closing the digital divide. I just need 6 people that I can interview, and then I can pretty much then call my PhD almost done, as in I then only have one chapter left to write. So if you're interested, please message me. I will put my email address in the chat. But if you're interested, because you're also participating in AZBSN, you will likely meet the criteria. But if I can find 6 people, then I can wrap up my dissertation that I've been working hard on for the last 5 to 6 years. And so, yes, there's my email address in the chat, and we'll get to review my model with you, and you'll be able to provide some input as well. So it's that close. I am so close. And as you know, I've been doing this for a while, and I've put in a tremendous amount of research and resources into this paper, this dissertation, which I think when it comes out will actually be very valuable because it does have a very strong application focus. It's not just a academic theoretical model. It is actually a very practical model to look at all sorts of closing the digital divide IT type projects. So it could be useful in a variety of places. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Any other announcements? Well, if no, there's no other announcements. I do have an announcement. Probably after the first of the year, we're going to go to every other week rather than every week. And there's a good chance that I'm going to retire sometime next year. I'm sort of 77 years old. My wife's got health issues. I want to spend time with her. My son's probably going to be moving to Portland, and we want to go visit him. And so it's getting to be about time. This has been a labor of love for me. Don't get paid. And so I'm looking at making some changes in the next year. In the meantime, and Paul, maybe you can help, or anybody else who's pretty knowledgeable about AI, about how I can further automate some of what I've been doing that will save more time and effort that I have to spend right now for preparation and newsletters and meeting announcements and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up, and probably, like I said, probably after the first year, we'll go to every other week. Any comments, thoughts people might have?
Steve, this is this is the best. There's no other state forum like this, and so you just done an astounding job of bringing in people and creating a forum for just a great exchange of ideas.
Right. Thank you, Randy.
Here. Outstanding commitment, Steve, to the community and to facilitating, connections between people and getting information out. Hurrah.
Yeah, thank you. So with that, I am going to end the meeting for today. I guess we're already kibitzing, so I don't know that we have to go to doing any kibitzing at this point. Anybody who wants to stay on and chat some more, but officially the meeting is now over. So with that, thank you all, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Or as Edgar R. Murrow would say, goodbye, good night, and good luck.
That's right. That's right.
Although I will say, Steve, I just punched in the Google, tell me technology that happened 77 years ago, and it threw me back to results about the Paleolithic era. And I'm pretty sure you know that.
I think I've seen. I think I've seen petroglyphs of Steve riding a dinosaur. Yeah,
that was the first result, and I'm like, going, I didn't even ask about that. I just said 77 years ago. Not that. Yeah, that's just.
Paul, it's just when I think about how long ago it's been, and I think about, and I talk to people today about AI, and just think about when I was growing up and I was in school, there were no computers except in a big building somewhere, maybe on a university campus. There were no computers. I don't even know if we had calculators at that point. And so shows you how far we've come since then, and who knows what's next year with AI. The only thing that I know and have seen over time is that every time we create new technology, it creates a whole lot of political, social, and economic issues that we just never anticipated and have to work our way through. But anyway, oh yeah, thank you, Mala.
Yeah. Good job, Mala.
Take care.